general consensus is that we should try to have these more often. Yeah. I don't know about once a month. What do you guys think would be the best time interval between meetings? I feel like once a month is too much. 3 months?
60 to 90 days. Or quarterly, 120, you could even do it, you know?
Quarterly. When I file quarterly taxes, then I got to do a community meeting. I mean, quarterly could work.
I think everybody's just sitting in here like, holy fuck, Skinner get a new mic. I think that's probably the main thing that people are focusing on right now.
Yeah, that's our big announcement. I got a new mic. I got the HyperX Quadra S. Go back to the old one. The old one was just my Logitech headset.
If you want to hear the old one, just listen to Joe Knight.
Ooh.
He got a new one too.
Yeah, he just got a new one actually.
He got a AT2020, I think.
That tells you I'm out of the blip. So I'll just go back mute again.
It's okay, Snow's
Ricardo,
still
you
on
got
that
a new one
headset.
too.
Mm-hmm.
You sound kind of the same though.
Well, yeah, it didn't come from a potato, so.
A potato flew around. Yeah, like it. The Quadra S is good. A lot of people have this microphone, I've noticed. A lot of people. Okay, so just a quick breakdown of what we want to talk about. I'll say right off the bat that we're not here to talk about why everybody left. We're not here to talk about, who did what or who didn't do that, or point fingers or point blame about the server population or anything like that. We're here to talk about the future of Nonstop RP, what we want to do moving forward, what we would like this place to be moving forward. We don't want to go backwards. We don't want to dwell on the past. We don't want to dwell on, what could have been or what happened or anything like that. That's not why we're here. I've already told the team, hand out timeouts like candy. If it's not constructive, if it's not about the future, like if you want to be a part of Nonstop RP moving forward, great. We'd love to have you here. We want you to be here, a part of this meeting, and contribute and talk about where we want to go together as a community. With that out of the way, the only other things we're going to really talk about is we want to address the serious RP kind of direction that we wanted to go in back in, it was last month. What date was it on? Villiard made an announcement. I literally just had it linked. Where to go? It was on the 18th. It was on the August 18th, where he was talking about the launch of 2.0. Here, I'll put it in audience chat so people can kind of go back and reference it. There was a lot of there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of both positive and negative feedback about this announcement. I know that the majority of our player base has always been a little bit closer to casual, aiming mostly for semi-serious RP. Everybody has a different view of what semi-serious is versus casual versus serious role play. It's all subjective, but there's generally, I think generally everybody uses the same examples. Examples of semi-serious or satire would be, like No Pixel or something, and the more serious, more realistically oriented servers like Family RP or State of Emergency or some of those older servers would be generally classified as serious role play. We're not looking to be any other server, like we're looking to be our own server, looking to be our own community. I think generally what we were talking about when we said we wanted to go for a more serious role play environment was at least much more serious than it was before. I don't know, a lot of what I saw when we would say semi-serious, it would end up being a lot more casual. And I think Valier mostly summed up like what we're kind of looking for from every faction, like every different kind of group in the city, in his announcement. Focusing more towards a serious roleplay environment, which doesn't mean that we don't appreciate or accept people having fun or anything like that, but it should always be role playing your role as realistically as possible, like within the confines of what could happen in role play or make sense within the video game, or at least as long as everybody's having fun, like it should be. You should play your role and try not to deviate as much as you possibly can. The way that he worded it, and you can read it, for the criminals, the cops shouldn't be lenient anymore. If you do the crime, you'll do the time, all that kind of stuff. Robbing stuff's no longer a case, so let's go get X and hit a bank. There is a whole lot of changes to the entire robbery system, much more in depth. You can't just log on to the server and rob a bank. There's a bunch of little steps you have to take. There's a bunch of items you need. You have to do a bunch of different kind of crafting, and you got to find hidden things that are hidden with hints to find them, and they're moving every week. I think every 2 weeks now, right, Vale?
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
Because every week was kind of crazy, I guess. For the cops, held to a much higher standard than before. Corruption is certainly frowned upon. The only thing that I think we should talk about for the cops is because I feel like a lot of the police officers kind of got scared off when we announced this whole serious role play thing. And I think there was a couple instances where police officers were pulled into tickets and told like, hey, you let this person go with X amount of items, and like you're not, you should be more vigilant about this kind of thing. And the cop was I think he was mostly just dismissive, like it doesn't matter in the long run, it's just this or that. But it all matters, especially in a new economy. It's not entirely about going after the cop for not being a cop. It's more along the lines of, if a police officer isn't going to like properly find somebody for doing X amount of crimes, or if he's not going to properly search them and take all the stuff off of them, then that officer is sort of contributing to destroying the economy like down the road, especially an economy that I feel is so intricate. I feel like it's more vulnerable to being easily messed up if everyone isn't kind of doing their part and role playing their roles properly. I think that's more of what it was about. You had some of the people talking about, oh, if cops are just going to get banned if they don't arrest this person or arrest that person or whatever. Did we ban anybody? Vale? Did any cops
Um,
get fired?
I think one.
One.
I don't think they got fired though. I think it was just
I think they got
referral.
fail RP or something, points
Yeah.
or something. So you know, somebody did get punished for something. And I think it's because they were dismissive of the damage that it could cause. But there was no, you know, large amount of tickets opened about this. There wasn't any mass banning or mass firing of anybody. You know, it's a very case by case basis, and usually, usually the instances were about something very small in nature, and it didn't really require much action from our side. It was just like, hey, you know, be more mindful of how you go about this. You know, we don't want you to cross the line into potential corruption. You know, just look out for how you do this next time. Make sure you do this, and make sure you take those items. Blah blah blah. And you know, it was a conversation with the command teams at the time too, and sorry, I was just reading some of what people are writing. What do you consider corruption? Anything that's just self-benefiting, right? Like there really isn't, because I mean we're all for role play, and you know you can still get administrative permission, you know, on a case by case basis to do whatever you feel like is going to create some awesome role play. I think generally, if you have an idea that crosses into corruption, that could cause like that could create really good role play, and you bring it to the team, and we're like, yeah, that's cool. You have to like have like a plan, like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and the end would usually need to always, you know, and you know, the result should always be your character getting caught somehow. I mean, as long as the role play was, you know, was there. Yeah, I agree that you go through this whole big thing of corruption, but then you just kill off the character. You don't let the cops arrest you. There's no, you know, courtroom RP. I think you just sort of cut the role play short. Does this include random beating up cars? You've seen cops do pit maneuvers, ram and obliterate the cars just to win the chase. Is that something that will stop as well? I mean, I don't think any. There shouldn't be any officers that are just ramming just to ram. They should be performing the pit maneuvers. But it just sort of depends on who's in the chase and what their connection is like. A lot of the times, you know, desync, lag bubbles, it could look like totally different things from the two different points of view. So some of that stuff is difficult. There has been like clips that I've seen where it's very obvious that the officer would just, you know, use their vehicle as a weapon and just straight up ram somebody. And that kind of thing was quickly, you know, rectified. Tickets were opened. Like, hey, don't do this again. We even had a couple of officers get you know, notes on their warning history. Like, hey, you know, don't do this again. This is going on your history for the future. You could get points for VDM if you do this again. That's always been very frowned upon. I've always acted quickly on that stuff if we see it, from what I've seen. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about that. The everybody's stealing these sports cars, these supercars that are spawning around the map and just going straight to the highway and blasting it up the highway. I know we're working on putting in the rest of the fleet for the officers as well as interceptors and air units. Soon, TM, Hikato, yeah. There's a couple other things we're working on. I think some of those vehicles still need some liveries. Oh, he's in the kitchen. Yeah, Meng is working on the vehicles right now. We were going to do like a whole like in character sort of way of bringing in, you know, more vehicles into the fleet, and like an in character way for the command teams of each department to like purchase interceptors or purchase air units. But we sort of threw that idea out. We're just gonna get everything we're just gonna get everything pushed out. Austin. Plan to get the current population up. The server is 30 to 40 every night. And I mean, you know, these are 30 to 40 role players who, in my opinion, are really high quality role players. There's been some really good role play. A part of that is, instead of asking when population is going to go up, just join the server and play. And then, you know, the server goes up by one player. But on the flip side of that, yeah, we've talked about doing some advertising, like through maybe TikTok videos. Probably the best, like, current viable option. Maybe asking some of the content creators to provide clips, and we like sort of put it together and put it on a TikTok or something. The only issue with running some social media pages, besides, you know, just like posting on Twitter, for example, is we're all volunteers, and we already have busy lives and busy schedules, so we can't exactly dedicate a whole lot of time to running, you know, entire social media platforms, editing videos and putting it all together and all that kind of stuff. But I've had a few conversations with some members of the team who might have some time to do that. But the best way for the server to get advertising right now is through word of mouth. If you enjoy the city and you like everybody, you like all the members of the community, you like the way that the direction of the server is going, tell your friends. You know, share the Discord, share the website, tell people about it. That's probably the biggest and best way for the server to sort of be spread around right now, is through word of mouth. So right now, you guys are actually the best way that we could get more people to come, you know, try out the server. Yeah, EU side, I don't really know, you know, what to tell you about that. We've always been, you know, a North American based server. We do have a lot of EU players, you know, or had, I guess. I think it does kind of suck that the EU side is a lot more quiet. But even when we had, you know, even when we had like a really, really big population on the NA times, EU was still only 50 or 60, maybe. Like primetime EU. IRL crims. Yeah, Joey, I'm going to give you one warning. Keep it constructive, or we're just going to mute you, man. Just saying the framework is terrible, that's not going to fly. Let me see if there's any other announcements. Is there anything else that I wanted to sort of? Does anybody have any more questions about the serious RP kind of thing that we were talking about? I just don't want people to have the wrong impression of, we're going to ban you for driving on the grass or something like that, unless you're in an off-road vehicle. We already have something for that. It's the off-road script. If you drive off-road, you're not going to, your vehicle isn't going to work as well. Yeah, I know. I've been that. I mean, let's be honest. That's the real reason why everybody's here right now. Glove boxes and trunks, right? Like that's why 90 people are in this meeting right now. Is glove boxes and trunks. Yeah, I've been talking with Ocado about it. He's been working on it. He's got the containers for it working. He just needs to integrate it with the alt wheel, I believe was the last conversation we had about it.
Yeah, it's just finishing up like the proper loading and shit, and it'll probably be in the next few days.
The contender being off-road. I think there was some sort of issue with the off-road script, and like if you actually put on the off-road tires weren't helping, but I think now they are. And then for mechanics, we didn't really have a whole lot of mechanics rolling around because A, they couldn't clock in to get paid, and B, the impound stickers weren't sticking to the cars, so they couldn't, tow to get money either. But but now they have a clock in and the tow stickers are fully functioning, so we should see more mechanics around. If anybody hasn't, checked the change log, there's a bunch of stuff that went in yesterday. Minimum wage. You talk about your salary, like when you're clocked in to a job. See, the problem is we don't want people to get paid for just standing around. That's the issue. Like, you need to be doing something, like some sort of action to be earning money. Welfare checks? Welfare is always going to be low. It's welfare. It's not supposed to be good, you know? Yeah, generally everything, every job, I think except delivery. Delivery was a little low, but that was just buffed. Every job you can do for an hour or two, and you've got enough money, you know, to have food and whatever for a while.
So the thing to remember with food is there's like a tier system, right? So the better your food. So if you buy from a restaurant compared to like at the shops, that food's gonna fill you up better.
Yeah,
There was
you have to eat.
there's also like I think it was what the hot dogs there. The
Yeah, the hot dog vendors.
hot dog vendors they do what hot dogs and milkshakes or whatever. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be better than just going and getting water, and they're pretty inexpensive. So
$20 per impound? Can't be that low. Vale? $20?
Let me have a look. It might be.
Is that right?
I think we dropped it from the 1.0, didn't adjust
Yeah, well,
again.
1.0 was $500, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking that an impound and 2.0 would probably be like $100 maybe, like a fifth or something, 150. Sounds a little more fair.
Well, I can look. Let's see
So
what-
2 hours of grinding, you can make about $3,000. Hot dogs are like $7.
It's $100. People are saying $20. People are saying $100, which 100 as long as it has an impound sticker. Oh, is that what you meant? $150 an impound might be a bit much. Yeah, maybe $100. What do you think, bro? This is our economy. What did I call it? Economy extraordinaire.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Here, this is our economist, Valliard.
All right. Well, impound reward increase for next restart.
It's gonna be a surprise, or what?
Yeah, they can find out in character.
Go do some toes. Now that you can clock in, and now that the sticker works. Yes, $21 now. Congrats, everyone. Can I pay money for a default GTA house for a house I buy? What? Huh? Did you see my question? No. Where's your question?
I think Shields is asking about the default GTA, like interior houses that have like doors that open.
What about the amount of police present versus ability to do the crime? We're not going to lower that. You can't. You're talking about like the ban wipe from the past year? Who is this? Get out of here. Can I donate to possibly have it in the house? I don't know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about like the GT Online interiors or something? Can business apps be open then for the opportunity for they are open, I thought.
Yeah, 2 businesses got put up yesterday for restaurants.
I don't see any announcement in the DOJ news that have closed business apps. When are you adding more jobs in the city? We have mining, fishing, delivery, lumberjacking. I think we're about to throw in trucking. There's a lot of there's a lot of different things to do. There's also a bunch of in-character businesses that you can go work for. If those businesses had more employees, they could open more often. Yeah, I think we have a garbage collector script still, right? H. You just got to convert that.
Mm-hmm.
So trucking and garbage collecting will be a thing again. But there's still okay. You would 100% play a garbage man?
Well, if we talked about trunks already, they're in the works. They'll be in a few days, according to Kato.
Yeah, glove boxes and trunks are coming in a few days. Last pieces to it.
In terms of the houses, like nobody should be expecting to get one of the better houses within the first couple of months. That should never be the goal. As more things come into the economy, there will be better ways to earn money, and there will be faster ways to earn money, and that's when you can start going for the higher tiered houses. So right now, yeah, it's maybe a bit out of reach, but down the line, as you know, the economy grows, it'll be much more achievable. Because the problem you run into is everybody could just get everything within the first month, and then in 6 or 7 months' time, we're going to be sitting here like, shit, do we need another wipe? Which is not where we wanted to go this time. So yeah, like right now, some things will seem unachievable, but you know, as it grows, then there will be more options to make the money to get those things.
All right, let's talk about some of these community meeting topics that people have posted. I think Riley looks like Riley summarized them. We already talked about player count, plans for that. Like I said, the best way right now is word of mouth. Tell your friends. Come and play on Nonstop RP. We could probably easily do like a Twitter account just to like share some info and news and some updates about what's going on. Unsure if we have anybody on the team that wants to dedicate their time to running a social media account like TikTok. Like that takes a lot of work. Loan system and financing. Valiard is probably something that you should answer. I know that we had it before. What was there was a reason that we didn't want it in 2.0?
There was a few reasons we didn't want it in 2.0. One of the reasons was the way financing works, it needs a complete overhaul, because right now, technically in 1.0 a realtor could go and sell a house to somebody, and then the next month they could sell the same house to the same person. They could do that for like 12, 18 months or whatever and get the same big commission payout every month. So it needs an overhaul from that perspective. But the other one was, again, it's not having everybody having everything within those first couple of months. The one thing I don't want it to be is a grind, and I can see, that some people think there are parts of it that are grindy, so I'm going to go away and look and see where I can make some changes. But in terms of financing, I think, yeah, it will come back at some point down the line. But it does need an overhaul and to see how it can work the right way and the best way.
Roadmap for development. We can talk about that later. Plate swapping, like changing plates in the city. Talk about like fake plates on the vehicles. Now, this is something that you could just put in as like a framework suggestion on the forum, if it's not already there. But I think right now there wasn't any plans for it, but it's a good suggestion.
I think what they're talking about is being able to put a fake plate on a car to
Yeah.
hide your identity.
Yeah, that would just be a framework suggestion on the forum. Times and fines and license revoke. Valiard, this is another one for you. I will say, talking about the criminal code, I think the new criminal code has been laid out very nicely. I still think there are some discrepancies versus, with the criminal code versus what's in the MDT. I saw a couple tickets lately where there was something missing from the MDT or that was on the criminal code and whatnot. And then the only other issue that I've seen with some of the different charges in the criminal code is certain charges that feel like or sound like they should revoke a specific license, they don't, or other charges that actually do revoke the license when it doesn't really make sense in character why it would. I think there was a few charges like that before that were already corrected. I'm unsure if there are still any charges that don't make very much sense. I think one of the bigger ones was the robbery versus armed robbery. If you rob a store without a weapon, then you shouldn't lose your weapons license. But I think a lot of the police officers aren't able to differentiate between robbery and armed robbery. It doesn't matter if you use the weapon or not. If you're in possession of the weapon, you are armed. The weapon is readily accessible, and by the legal definition, you are armed, and therefore you should be charged with armed robbery. And therefore you committed armed robbery because you robbed a store with a weapon, and therefore you should lose the weapons license. The definition for the lockpicks and mechanics is already very clear. The officer that arrested you misinterpreted it, and the Attorney General's office corrected it and released you from prison. So there isn't any issue with the definition or the criminal code there. That was just officer error. And they were, properly informed about it.
There's so many people asking about the casino. What's the situation with it?
It's a cow question.
Are we waiting on all the government stuff, the laws and whatnot?
Oh, so that's a me question.
I mean, there's a lot to it. It's not just I mean, if we want casino stuff, I mean, we've got all the games and stuff. Like, it's just it hasn't been focused on per se. Mostly because they're trying to wrap up the other stuff to make it to where people can actually get money to go to the casino with. So it's one of those.
Yeah, casino win. I'd like to go lose all my money in the casino that I fished for 17 hours for.
I have kind of want to touch on that because I have an honest to God question about this. If the casino is something we're thinking about implementing and people, civilians, criminals, cops, anybody else are going to be able to go there and lose their money, what happens when the people win? Where's the
Get their
money going to, where's it going to come from though? I mean, like, is that a good money sink? Like, I know we're very
Everybody else's
economy-based.
losses.
Yeah.
True. All it takes is, I mean, speaking from personal experience, one person to break that bank, though, and then
But
there's
also,
no payouts.
the business
for everybody.
owner should have a pretty decent, fund. Like any business owner should start a business with money. If you're
I don't
looking to run a
disagree.
business and you don't have money, it's not. I don't think it's going to go very far.
I don't disagree. You kind of answered my question with that.
Yeah.
So
Can we disable the dancing man on the HUD? So we do have a plan for that. We just haven't gotten around to it because it's sort of a lower priority than the rest of the stuff. We want to separate the actual PED image from showing up every time that your health or your thirst or your hunger updates, because currently they're connected. They both pop up every single time. And yeah, I agree. It's a little annoying. It kind of breaks the immersion, like this the guy Fortnite dancing on the screen every few minutes. So we want to separate that to where the PED should only come up if you take actual damage, like to the PED. And that should fix that.
In regards
Being
to the
able-
tablet and phone conversation that was had there for Judge, development of applications for both the tablet and the phone is continuing, but it's low priority compared to the other things that have to get done. So yes, in the future, but no timeline.
Also, I have a fix for walk styles. I just haven't pushed it yet. So walk styles will start saving like this week probably. MDT will also probably move to the tablet eventually, or a laptop item.
Yeah, laptop item, preferably. Or the tablet, I guess. Okay, food market moved to the city? Question mark? Where is it right now?
The food market for businesses.
Yeah, I think that's what they're on about. It's currently in Polito.
The reason that it's in Polito is honestly because it's the most suitable place visually. The way the shops work, the way the NPCs and stuff work, it has to be split into like multiple for everything to go there. I'm trying to put it in the city. I originally looked in the city to try and put it somewhere there, but there was nowhere really that just made sense, other than a tiny room with like
Got an idea
100
for that.
boxes. Yeah, if we can work out a way to do it and get it down, if a Cato's idea works, then yeah, we can do it. But the reason it's up there is just because there was no sensible way to have it in the city.
Okay. Medical system. Replace it. Answer, daily double. No. The medical system is not going to be replaced. It's already been tweaked multiple times. We nerfed tripping. I think tripping is only able to happen, every hour? And there's only a 10% chance of it happening. So tripping is virtually non-existent. I know that was like a big issue in the beginning, and we were stubborn to change it. But it has been heavily nerfed, and I think it's just an every once in a while funny thing that happens now. The rest of the medical system, it's still a work in progress. It still needs to be fleshed out some more with all the different items and the healing and what this item would do versus that item. That the medical system in general is not entirely finished, but it's not going to be replaced. 2.0 too grindy. People want increased pay. Vegard?
The what? Sorry, I was reading something.
2.0 is apparently too grindy. People want more pay.
It's trying to find the balance of, making sure
I
not
think
everybody's
what you
rich.
said before was we wanted to start everything extremely low.
Yeah.
We wanted to start with the smallest numbers we could possibly start with and then tweak it. And we have been tweaking it. I think we've already buffed a handful of different things a few times already.
Yeah,
And
it's
always
much
subject to
easier
change.
to inflate than it is to deflate.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm constantly looking at things and making tweaks here and there.
So the answer is we're not against it. We're not against increasing pay. We just want to be careful with it because we don't want this economy to be ruined like the 1.0 economy was. We're trying everything in our power not to let this economy get out of control. But we're not against it. Is that the good answer there, Vale?
Yeah.
I think overall we want people to earn their way to those sports cars and those big houses rather than finding the latest meta grab in order to boost their economic growth in a matter of weeks versus months.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want all the expensive cars and expensive houses and you just want to roll around and feel like a big shot, go play GT Online. You get everything in like a few days.
Gang shit is coming. As a lot of you know, your applications have been reviewed, either approved or denied. And those that were approved got brought into the Apostles chat so you guys can start having your conversations, and things are going to roll out very soon.
Oh, and speaking of gangs, yeah, we're gonna be throwing in that new Gabs update with all the gang interiors. I don't know if anybody has seen that, but it looks awesome. So we're definitely going to be getting all those interiors in. And all of the newly whitelisted gangs will be able to utilize that if you take over those territories, I guess. Speaking of territories and Thomas and the missions, I think there's only a handful more things to do with that, right?
Yeah, just need to get the NPCs finished and then we're good.
Just the dialogue with the NPCs, like just converting it. Yeah. That's why we went ahead and we reviewed the gang applications and went through and denied XYZ, approved the other ones, because we know that we're close to launching that system. Did you want to talk a little bit about those Thomas missions? Because we all know that the Thomas missions is what destroyed the 1.0 economy.
Yeah, so
You don't have to give away too much, but
Yeah, so all I will say is that you still make a relatively good amount of money from them, but the main function of missions this time will be prevalence more than anything. And that's pretty much all I'm going to give away.
I see someone asked, is there any plan for re-implementing KO Perico?
Cayo Perico?
Yeah.
No. There's no current plans now or in the foreseeable future.
Thomas, as far as the houses on forum, we could easily get those put in. That's not a problem.
Yeah, there should be a spot on the forum for missing houses. I don't know if that was remade for 2.0. I imagine it was. You can just put, a photo there. We can go and put the house down.
Squid Merchant, will there be any missions like once you use your territory, kill so many ex-local gang missions and stuff? I think we wanted to create some quests, right, for them to be able to do.
Oh.
We actually wanted to just, like, use the quest system, because there's been a quest system, since early on in 1.0. There wasn't really ever any quests created from it, though.
The NPC, the gang missions, yeah. The plan is to have a bit more player-to-player interaction through it as well. So it's not just all go pressy, do your thing, that's it.
I think we also want to try to find a way for there to be some sort of risk to it. That was one of the other big issues with the Thomas missions, is there was literally, virtually no way that you could be caught by any sort of law enforcement. Unless they, like, infiltrated your gang, maybe. And that's, like, the only way. And that's extremely difficult. Especially with metagamers. So people were making, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars with literally zero risk. Can medical be a higher priority than it currently is? We definitely want to work on medical. But currently, in its current state, medical works.
Yeah.
And so there are other things that we want to work on.
I think there's only one thing massive with medical currently right now is anybody can help anybody up with the help up. So medical aren't receiving medical calls because people can just pick their friends up and take them to the hospital.
Yeah, I think that was initially intended, I think, by James, but we had talked a little bit about changing that. We just haven't really made a decision on it.
Plus,
Yeah,
it would also help if we actually had like it's just actually having medics on the server to respond to people. Otherwise, everyone's just gonna have to respawn unless there's a cop. So it kind of has to both match. Otherwise, it won't work.
I think the best compromise for that is creating a threshold. If somebody is to some sort of extent injured, they can't be helped up. They need actual medical attention. But for, like, minor injuries and stuff, you should just be able to kind of, like, help people up. I don't know.
The other thing that's well known about the medical that we've all talked about, and I know that Dev is planning on working on, is being able to regen health after you go to the hospital. So if you come back only 90%, there will be ways to regen your health. And the tripping thing, for those of you that aren't aware, was designed, not tripping, sorry, the help up was designed that it would give you the opportunity to help someone up so they can get in a vehicle and go to the hospital. They were eventually supposed to bleed out after they've been helped up. So as we saw, that's not the case. People are getting helped up and then running around doing their gang shit or doing whatever they want to do and not go to the hospital until eventually, they keep getting helped up over and over again. That's not the way it was intended.
Yeah, I still don't know if the tripping is like still a massive issue. Like it was said, it's been nerfed heavily. So if it continues to still be a huge problem, just update us, because then we can try and tweak it a little more. Because I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that the tripping shit definitely sucks, but it also could potentially create some type of roleplay if necessary.
Moving on. Monthly fees for businesses possibly being waived. Sounds like a Valiard or Freya question.
I think with how quiet it is right now, businesses aren't going to make enough money. So I think it's definitely something we can look at temporarily suspending. But I'll speak to Freya and we'll see what we can do on that. Because it would be completely unfair to expect a business to pay their monthly fees when, you know,
They haven't been making money.
they haven't been making money. So yeah, we can definitely look at that. Yeah, put them on hold until December or something and then reanalyze it.
Wait for the rest of the year. I mean, if they open, a business needs to be open for them to make money. There are businesses that are here that do exist, but they haven't been open to make that money. Yeah, rest of the year is just 2 months, subject to change. 3 months, but yeah,
Do the same for Realtor licenses right now.
increase pay welfare checks. We already addressed that. Housing prices, the house pricing. I think we already have a somewhat of a solution for that. Just going to list the pricing, and then we're going to change the blips or something for them. For the different
Yes, so
tiers.
we'll get property available working again. That will show you all the properties that are available, and the icons will tell you what tier of house it is, and then you'll be able to price it from that. Oh, that was a slight oversight, so I apologize for that one. But yeah, we can get that fixed pretty easily.
Oh, the command, I already fixed it.
Nice and easy.
We'll just need to update the colors. Put it all together.
Physical money. Don't like actual physical item of where it's different bill types.
The different money, the different bill types was something me and Hikato spoke about quite a bit before we launched. I think we kind of went back and forward on it for a bit, but having the different types, it opens us up to being able to do a lot more stuff down the line. So yeah, all I'll say is just stay tuned because it is going to open up so much more, being able to do those different values.
Selling points like mining and fishing takes such a long time to sell.
They shouldn't as of the day it restart.
There you go, that should be fixed, guys.
Yeah, we already have a /bill command that will bill somebody. You don't have to move cash if you don't want to. That sounds like it should be a probably a tablet application for like businesses to be able to invoice.
Cole's original plan, obviously he's not here right now, but his original plan was to create a device for businesses, and then people would pay it. So the device would sit on the like countertop, and people would click it and then pay the amount, and that would go straight into the business account.
I mean, wouldn't it be, isn't it just as easy right now in the current situation that if they bill and it comes from their personal account, they just pull the money out of their business account to cover it? Or if you know it's going to be a big bill and you have it planned, you can just go and put the money in your personal account so it covers it?
Yeah, you should be able to transfer from any ATM or any bank. You sure? I thought you could transfer from an ATM. Well, we just need a banking
I
app.
thought we could. What the fuck?
I think the
You will in
option
about
is
5
there,
minutes.
but it doesn't. I don't think it actually works yet. I think that was something Cole was going to make, but he is no longer here.
It's in cash not currently detected. Yeah, something we need to fix. I love nested containers, but at the same point, I fucking hate nested containers.
Someone's asked when can they play as a motherfucking ped model?
Whenever staff gets around to writing up a application for PED models.
Waive the cost of equipment for emergency services. Your departments get a budget. It's down to them to use it wisely and give you the money to buy the stuff.
House spawning? When? House spawning? What do you mean by house spawning? Just like / spawn house?
I think he means spawning inside the house. Like when you come into the server, you could choose your
okay.
house.
Spawning at your house.
So you already could.
Spawn house in hospital. Let's see. Is there going to be a limit for how many key holders to a house?
Key holders for a property? I don't think there was a limit before.
No, I don't think there was.
I don't see why there would be a limit now.
Spawn at last location. That's kind of a thing already. Say, for an example, you crash or something, you'll spawn at your last location, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird if you had to leave the server, come back the next day, and spawn back in the same location. FIB with snipers? Yeah, good luck.
Wardrobes and apartments, yeah. What was that change you made with the amount of resources able to be sold? Was that related to fishing, Vale?
I don't think I've done fishing yet. Fishing's on the list to do for tomorrow's restart.
Okay. So, Jim, yes. I don't know if what you're specifically talking about would be changed, but the entire process would be faster somewhere along the line.
And Judge, I don't think 45 keys for a single motel room has ever been a thing, even in 1.0. Having access to the database, we've never seen that.
Glove boxes, we talked about cars and repair bills. I mean, you could drive better, slower. Don't go, 130 through the city and then get mad when you completely, destroy your vehicle and have to pay $2,000 to fix it. If you're a cop or EMS or some sort of state employee, then the state agency should be paying your repair bill and not you. They should have some sort of contract or some sort of reimbursement, plan for their state employees. So none of that should be coming out of pocket for those individuals. But I mean, a car going really fast and doing a bunch of barrel rolls and being destroyed and it being expensive to repair it, I think that's generally the intent. Slow down. There was a thread on the forum where somebody was complaining about police officers, barreling down, Vespucci Boulevard with like code 2s on, not even clearing intersections, and that being, should be considered fail RP or like NVL or something. Same goes for the criminals. Slow down. Value your life and your property, I guess.
Cops disabling in a police chase and then repairing and getting back in.
Yeah,
That shouldn't be happening.
I think the other issue with that though is there wasn't really any mechanics that were on duty to come and like tow the car and like help you out and stuff. But that was that also was because they weren't able to clock in and the tow wasn't working, but now it is.
Should we open the floor? See if people want to come and speak.
I think there was only 2 other things: garages at shops, a local mechanic when there are no mechanics on duty, and then selling points like mining and fishing. It takes a long time to sell. I think we literally just talked about that. We already changed that. I think that question, the garages at the shop, local mechanics when no mechanics are on duty, it could be a good idea, like a good suggestion. Enable the LS customs for repairs where you have to pay. And if mechanics are on duty, then you need to go to an actual mechanic shop and role play to get your car repaired.
If people are impounding their cars and just grabbing a new one at Mission Row, open a ticket.
All right, I'm gonna move to just anything general development. Let's go ahead and post the Trello. This Trello has already been public. It's been available in the 2.0 channel for a while. If you want to see, we recently completely updated this, moved around the priority for things, removed a bunch of stuff that we're not currently working on versus what we're working on. It's going to be constantly updated. I spoke with Hikato, just sort of reiterated that we should use this Trello on a continuous basis. Here's the Trello right here. I put it in the audience chat. This board you can look at it at any point and see what we feel is low, medium, or high priority, what's in progress, the bugs that we found, or the bugs that you found and we put on here, what's in testing, completed but might need a few more tweaks to it, what we want to revamp. And you can always make suggestions on the forums, and we'll pull from the suggestions on the forums. May put it on the Trello, may not. Before I hand it over to Hikato to just sort of generally talk about what's going on with development and like the pays and everything, I want to just say we're no longer committing to the, like the weekly, like we're not going to do it like every Friday. So that's why we've changed the change log to be a specific date instead of week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. We want to push things out sometimes quicker. We want to, delay some things, to be a little bit longer. But generally, there has always been a change log every week, whether it may not be on the exact Friday or not. I think we've been pretty consistent with the weekly updates. We're just not sort of sticking to that specific schedule anymore. So if you have any questions, specifically development related, Hikato or Valyard can answer, and we can talk about what we see on the Trello here. People taking a few minutes to look over the Trello. If you have any
I think that's why everyone's
questions,
so silent.
I'm adding some of the bugs.
yeah, I see you doing some stuff here.
There was another one that I addressed that I want to put on there before I forget.
Speak with command members in character views about doing dispatching in character. We can maybe get something set up out of character if they see it feasible.
I'm not sure if there's any development side plans for
Right.
supporting dispatch, but dispatch can easily be done, through roleplay. And I think that the different command teams had plans for that.
They could maybe hire you onto the job and you could just use the radio. Is there a fix for Realtor commission being worked on? It's been a full month since he sold a house and still hasn't got paid.
Have you sold another house since then? You got commission for it? Or sold another house and then not gotten paid? Or yeah, the off-road script we talked about earlier, Vanguard, that's already been tweaked. Off-roading is better. And I think off-road tires actually work now if you put the off-road tires on.
He hasn't made any other sales as of yet.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. As far as we know, it's working. The commission is working. We haven't had any other reports of it not working. If you've only sold one house, and that was a month ago, there may have been some sort of issue with it.
I'm pretty sure the second they get fixed like immediately. That was with the whole that other thing that kind of went with that. I forget what it was. Wasn't taking the money and all that. So it should all be fine now.
So the delay and stall on the cars. I think Allie can actually talk a lot about this because this was something that was intentionally implemented into 2.0 and driving. There's an actual driving script. It was to
Yeah,
remove
it was to stop the double
clutch.
clutching, exactly. And also it helps with the curb boosting that people were doing, or bump drafting, they call it.
So I think I now that you just said that, I think I do need to relook at that because we also, I think what's happening is we did the handling tweaks to stop curb boosting as well after James did that. So I think it's probably doubling up the effect unnecessarily. And that's probably what's, because I don't remember it ever being that bad of a delay as it is now. Like I've started noticing it lately, so I think it's because we actually removed the handling flags for curb boosting, and now that's still kicking in when it's not really a necessity.
Because it was already being handled by the script.
Yeah, James did it so we didn't have to go that route, but we didn't have a way to do it for 1.0, so I just went through and did it in the handling files. So, yeah, that's
And now those handling files are in 2.0.
yeah.
It should not exist on helicopters. Open a bug report for that, Shields. We'll make it so it doesn't affect helicopters. That's silly.
Yeah, and we'll probably just turn it off, really, because we shouldn't need it anymore, anyways. Because I know Mang is also making sure those flags are there on the new cars and stuff we add anyway. So, we'll be able to fix it, kind of thing.
Will, yeah, that's something it's on the list here. If you look at the Trello board, I think that link was put in earlier. It's definitely listed on there. So it's something that's known about and something that that Dev is going to work on eventually. Unfortunately, it's a lower priority.
I can pin it, yeah. There you go.
Actually,
It's already pinned in 2.0 as well.
actually, how about this?
The colors are basically minor tasks, large tasks, etc. Major tasks, and then some of them are like for different type of jobs and stuff.
There's a button you can click, and I don't remember where it is. I'm trying to find it. That adds the labels. And I know I said it at some point, and I don't know where it's at. Metal detecting is like like how the old courthouse had the metal detectors in there. It'll actually start like beeping if you walk through with like a weapon on you. I think it works in
That
Bolingbrook.
the label thing is under accessibility, colorblind friendly mode.
How the frickin' hell do you find that, mate?
Huh. Yeah, it's an actual like metal detector that detects weapons.
Need that shit at the courthouse.
If people want to request to speak, if you click on the meeting channel and request, we can see if you guys want to come up and speak and ask any questions or anything.
You know, we could add a prop for metal detector prop because I think that script goes off of coordinates or a prop or whatever, so we can make like kind of how we did with the ATMs, where we can place them anywhere. So if we wanted to like sell those to businesses too,
There's a hand
should be-
scanner emote. The guy walks around with a hand scanner. It's from the storyline, and that's what most communities use
we
for
can do that too.
metal
Yeah.
detector.
What about gas pump handles being stuck in your hands? I'm pretty sure everyone has that issue. The wireless. Currently, to fix that, if you go to a clothing store and just go in and go out of it, that's an easy, quick fix while it's fixed development side.
I thought there was a button that like put it back.
I'm not too sure.
There is, but it gets glitched sometimes.
Do we have store blips on the map yet?
No, I think someone mentioned that about adding the icons and blips back.
There, I need to look
Take
at that. That's a
Ronald
bug.
Simmons approach when you have the nozzle stuck in your hand and you just say, "Nice nozzle."
If I get a business, can I get my own shirt? If someone's willing to make one.
Yeah, I mean, if our clothing devs want to do something for you, sort of up to them.
Oh shit, we have somebody. Yo, what up, Shields? Welcome, brother.
Hello, guys. And girls, too. I just want to say something, because I think some people forget about this, and, you know, we are an RP community. I have no problem if anyone, criminal-wise or civilian-wise, if you guys have anything that you see that a police department does wrong or whatever, come talk to us. We're humans. We could have made a mistake. Say something to us. We can only work with you guys if you guys let us know. Like, for example, with the bank last night, there was reasons why certain things went a certain way. Come to us, OOC, if you guys think it was wrong. I have no problem clearing anything up with anyone, OOC, especially if I was involved with the situation. Come to me. I'm a human. I make mistakes. I fuck up. I told people on the radio last night, you know, I 10-3'd multiple times and got a little heated, and I said, you know, shut the fuck up on the radio. Shouldn't say that, but I admitted it, and I said sorry to everybody afterwards. But you know, that's something that shouldn't be done. But you know, we can address things afterwards as well.
Yeah, Shields,
You know-
shut the fuck up.
To kind of add on that too, like I know, you know, saying, you know, just DM me about it and we'll talk about it is not always the easy thing, because, you know, not everybody's going to be super receptive when it's, you know, one-on-one. If you guys want to just like talk with a cop about something that happened, open a ticket too. We can mediate. Kind of, it doesn't have to be, you know, you're trying to get somebody in trouble. You even if it's just you trying to understand, that still goes a long way with fixing problems that happen. So we're happy to mediate anything that you feel needs to be, you know, talked about or talked through or whatever.
I can say pretty confidently we'd all rather have you guys sit and talk it out than give anybody points at this point, you know.
Contrary
Yeah.
to popular belief, tickets don't always end in points.
Yeah, I
I'm not
100% okay going in a ticket if you guys want to talk it out and have mediation with staff. I have no problem doing that. I'll speak for people or talk to someone. I don't care. Like, communicate with us so we can help, you know, the long run of the community grow and get better.
True.
Thanks, Shields.
Thanks, Shields, mate.
If
No
anybody
problem. Thank you
else
guys for
wants
having me
to-
here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. If anybody else has anything they want to talk about or say or anything, you can just request to speak.
Baby. One thing that I do want to say is if anybody has any experience within any type of development, 5M, lure, clothing, interior experience, be sure to open a ticket because we're looking for people to help out in any ways possible. Please, thank you, love you.
We are looking for developers always. Yeah.
Call signs on vehicles. Well, that's one area where we need help. We used to have Boss Gorilla that used to be able to do that stuff. But currently it's not something that's feasible right now. But if somebody can maybe help with it, then that'd be great. Plus, I'm not too sure about how the vehicles work currently because we have the low vehicles. I'm not sure how that would work.
They could get added. Oh, excuse me. It's just tedious.
Shit, does nobody want to come up and speak, ask any questions or anything? Don't be scared. Stop littering. You see keys and food everywhere. Yeah, that's all a part of it, man. Pick up somebody's key and just keep hold of it forever. Pet model up. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, cool kid. All right, and I want to see your fucking application. The first one. If it's not, I'm gonna do something terrible. Is there a plan for all keys to go when you park up?
Pretty sure it's on the Trello. Yeah, the key thing. The vehicle VIN numbers and stuff, it's all kind of covering it into that. Where the VIN numbers change, they'll be persistent, which will help with the key thing.
You'd love to see people applying for doctor roles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like every department's hiring at this point. On PD, EMS, DOJ, every application that's currently open needs people. If you're looking for a job to gain a little bit more money, be sure to apply.
That also crosses into the business realm.
Civilian businesses too.
Yeah, civilian business. I mean, our applications are up there. We have certain numbers, and a lot of us have toned that down. So please put in an app. We'd love to role play with you.
Kat, can you post your question again so we can get somebody to answer that for you?
Yeah, the chat goes kind of quick. So, does DOJ want Judge Peterson around? Hey, Martin, do you want Peterson back? I'm not too sure.
Absolutely.
There you go. There's your answer, Shield. You better get it done, mate.
And I can fire him.
Squid, just because the auto bed system works doesn't mean that you can't role play your injuries with the doctor.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Hello.
Quick.
I did not know it was coming that quick, but hello, thank you. I didn't want to interrupt. It's the previous person. I apologize.
Oh, good.
I got dragged in real quick. Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate the chance to say something here. I know everyone, I guess, knows me as Mick, but I guess one of my concerns, not for the server, I guess kind of in reverse, is as I was watching chat and stuff there, a lot of the questions were based off of a certain aspect of like money equals progress, which I've always spoken to all of my people in Shark and everything. That's just not how it works. Progress should be unique to the character, not to a static number. I think that robs from a lot of what RP can be. I don't know who knows Mick or how I play Mick. He doesn't really make a lot of money. I've set a goal for Mick, and I set his progress based off of cases and stuff, and not money amounts. And it's just always kind of disheartened me when it's like always comes down to a money value. I've actually had to chew some people out. I don't know if they're actually here right now. I don't want to call them up. I'm not here. They're not. But I've chewed some people out for that very same reason. It just kind of aggravates me when everyone tries to quantify their progress to money. And I think that unless depending on your character, maybe it applies, maybe it doesn't. But each character, their progress should be based off a unique trait. And if you're relying on the server to give you, or make it so that money is available or not, and that's all you base off of, you're never going to really have progress. Am I saying that? Does that make sense? I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. Sorry, but I just think it's worth being said. I don't think anyone defended that point in chat. So I just want to make sure that's very clear to everybody. I understand that is going to be some people's storyline. I fully respect that. I can't speak to that. But your character might just like to collect shells. Your progress is you have 10 shells instead of 9. Like, just want to point that out. I thought that was important because I just feel like the server was being slammed on a little bit hard there about just purely the financial side. That's all. So I just make sure I point that out. I appreciate the chance to say it.
Cheers, Mick.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem, man. Anyone else?
Kat, if you're here, can you just repost your question or put your hand up so we can give you the mic? Because I know you've been trying to ask that question for a while.
Shell, the new currency system? I don't know. I imagine, hey, I've got 10 shells.
I bet.
I got 10 shells for a burger. Hey, bet.
What are the 3 seashells for?
What up, Kat?
Hi. Sorry, Discord lag. Joyful thing coming from Australia. Which question was it? Because I had a few. And sorry,
you repeated the question multiple times about the territories and how you want to do a Vinewood territory, but not really be like a gang or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
That's something like that I've had an issue with since 1.0 is like with the territory system, like you're either a south side gang or you're a north side gang, but there's none of that like in between where like you're kind of like south side but you're not, and that's where like I wanted to play on that RP, but that leaves me in a unique situation where community territories you can't like sell drugs on because it hurts Prev, and that's something that I found was really difficult because it's really fun to have that RP. There's risk behind it, but the shit associated with the South Side is not something I was wanting when I created my game.
Sorry, so what's your overall question about it? Just then.
So my question is there going to be territories that are considered gang territories in the north side, in the Vinewood Hills area? Because I know in 1.0 there wasn't, because
yeah, I'm pretty sure they're down as community areas.
Yeah. They're down as community areas, which is, like, for me, the community RP areas, like, yeah, it can provide good RP and social RP, but it's not really, like, that gang RP. But, sorry, I'm cold, so I'm shaking, and I'm nervous. But, like, that's why I'm asking if there is going to be a change in that, because I know, like, IRL, there is gangs inside higher class society anyway.
Yeah, but they're not exactly shooting up their neighborhoods, though. That's the difference. Like,
yeah, that's the difference. Like, I'm not saying have gun prev, but at least like not have it so we can't sell drugs or anything, because taking risks is a part of it. And for me, like, the community territories just being social doesn't really hit it for me, and that's where I don't want to be a Southside gang, but I still want to take those risks.
there's nothing about not selling drugs in communities. It doesn't affect prevalence in any kind of way.
Okay, so that's just been a misconception.
Yeah, the only thing that really drops there is guns and shooting, which it makes sense. The drugs shouldn't affect it at all.
Okay, because it's always been a common misconception that community territories have always, oh, you can't sell drugs on territory, and it's like, Oh, that sucks. But yeah, no, that was my question. It was just about that because, like, yeah, again, I haven't been that much involved with gangs recently, like at all. I was in like 2 or 3, and that was it. So I was just asking that question because it's like we want to take risks, but if it's gonna hurt our prev, we can't do it. That kind of thing.
No, I think the only thing that was ever really planned was that if you sell drugs in gang territories, you'll gain reputation. That was it. I just checked in the territory system. Like if it's a community, it just doesn't do anything. So there's I know it's always been like clarified because I know I've heard a number of times like the clarification, but yeah, like it's just the shooting. Drugs are fine.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
looking at it right now in the framework, and you're good.
Yeah, and then the other thing I had was like apartments and houses inside Sandy because at the moment there's only motels where like a couple of the like where the motels are, it makes sense to have motels, but having like apartments and houses with the other trailers and houses, it would be cool to see.
I'm gonna add a thread in the suggestions forum for there used to be one if there wasn't like a house somewhere or something. Actually, it's still there. If you go to OOC suggestions, one of the sticky thread is like missing garages / houses. I'm gonna recreate it, and then if you have, just post whatever you need, and then we'll get it added.
Okay.
Anything else, Kata?
It slipped from me right now. There was something else. But...
If you have anything else, just pop it in the audience and we'll take a look.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right, Judge, what you got for us?
Oh, hello, your favorite cop main here. So I am somebody that never really went into quote unquote gang shit and nonstop. Did it on other servers, but never here. And my main focus on the gang stuff is not violence. As we know, there's primarily 3 types of gangs. There's physical, sentimental, and financial. There's gangs that, do their shit with violence, taking over territories, beating that gang in a gunfight, blah, 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 shooting at cops, robbing banks. There's the sentimental one, which is based on friends and family. Basically, one whole family would be in that gang that invites their close friends and no randoms, no people, some of them same ethnicity, some of them same blah, 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 those types. The financial one is the one that runs with money and businesses, being the type of gang that launders money instead of, well, yoinking it from other gangs. Now, in a previous server I used to play on, I'm not going to name it because I'm going to start a World War III in the chat, but we used to have a gang based on businesses and money. And we quickly found out that that type of gang is OP, way too OP. If you get one grinder, yeah, the guy can get a supercar and a house and everything he dreams of. You get 12 of them in a gang, you get a lot of money. And if you end up investing the money into properties, vehicles, and businesses, you can pretty much start taking over the server's economy pretty damn quick. If you start involving corruption into that, that's even worse because then you'd have funding everywhere, from cops, DOJ, gangs, and every type of money-making method out there. Now, that's something I wanted to start in Nonstop, but I wanted to kind of set a limit on it. I don't want to focus my entire roleplay on logging in the EU times when no one's around and just grinding money, because that's not roleplay. I want to know what the staff think about that in terms of someone focusing their entire storyline on money in one way or another, but at the same time creating a gang that is known to people that doesn't do any sort of violence or gang RP. A gang without being a gang. Is there limits set to prevent these kind of people from controlling everything? an odd question, I know, but
I'd like to think we came close. But no, I mean, at least in our role play, what we did with Misfits, and I mean, people call it a fucking cult now, and it's a meme. Should there be limits to it? Yeah, because you could take over. I think that kind of depends on the role play you put into it, especially with the bigger, more organized groups of people that we have. Yeah, it's something that you tread a thin line. You really do, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be selfish and not leave room for other people to have that role play as well.
so there's no problem with these gangs existing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's something that we're gonna heavily come down on. If somebody wants to be a group, because we've kind of renamed it groups instead of gangs, because not everybody wants to be a gang. And when you say, "Hey, I'm a part of a gang," it puts the wrong light potentially against what somebody wants to become.
It also involves a lot more. Forgive the expression, but I don't know if you're aware of it. Blue collar and white collar crime. Meaning the guy who stands on the corner and sells the drugs. As opposed to the guy who keeps your books. People kind of face the same risks. I mean, you get busted for dirty money, you get busted for dirty money. It doesn't matter who you are.
But if it comes to the point of where, like you said, it comes to where grinding comes so much to the point of where it's affecting the economy type thing, I think it's something that we'd probably just reach out to them, because with every group that's applying, we have open communication with them. So if we have any issues of that type, we'd probably just reach out and see what the situation is and try and look into what they're trying to do and what's their plan moving forward, etc. And see what's the best move moving forward from that. It's so hard to judge it based on not actually knowing the situation and just trying to speculate of what somebody could possibly do. But then I'm pretty sure it's going to be to the point of where it's balanced to where somebody can't fuck the economy. So I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Well, that's the thing. Like, these types of groups can always fuck the economy. I've done it before in a server with similar kind of. How many people are in nonstop at the moment? What, fucking 15K with 5K whitelisted? So similar numbers. We made that group, and instead of having a small kind of group with a lot of money, we scattered around. We placed people in government positions, LEOs, dealerships, businesses, restaurants, everything. So we were the middlemen between everyone. So everyone that wanted to get a car would have to go through at least one of us in a dealership. And once we started utilizing that power and turning it into money, basically giving discounts to everyone but that one gang that we hate, it pissed off every single staff member in that server. And I don't want that thing to kind of happen here. Now, yes, that takes a long time. Took me like a year to get that done, but I want to go ahead and do that here. Be the people with suits running around, not really doing any physical crime, as you called it, white collar and blue collar, big difference.
Yeah, it's more of like a business type cartel / group instead of a criminal
syndicate, if you will, I guess.
I know what you mean. I think it's just something that we'll have to monitor and see what happens, because obviously we can't predict what's going to happen until it actually happens, and then if it becomes an issue, we'll just address it.
All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much all I had.
All right, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Someone's asked, is there a limit on how many jobs one person can have? Yeah, I don't think that's what he was trying to say, Donnie. I think he said, is it something that we're going to try to do to avoid that happening? Because that's what he's not wanting people to do. Gangs able to be recognized by the locals in their own territory yet? I don't think it's currently a thing, no. And does a realtor count as a government employee since it's technically under the DOJ?
No.
There you go. One person having 10 different jobs is a bit failed, to be honest. How do you mean? Like on one character or on multiple characters? Can you explain a little bit more on what you're trying to say? Wonder Crew, don't you worry. They'll be out on the streets very soon.
Really? What the fuck? Thanks for the heads up.
Fucking hoping so. Police at night, call Simmons by day. Need to get that house. If there's anyone else that has anything, be sure to raise your hand.
The gang stuff. No, we're wrapping up the territory system. It's not a whole lot left to do. It's just converting the Thomas over, and then it's obviously going to have a little bit more of an in-character conversation to push through, which kind of goes back to what Elliot was talking about earlier, where prevalence is going to be a bigger thing in the new territory system. So you'll probably for the groups that got accepted this week, you'll probably have a visit from some individuals over the next week or so to start moving that stuff forward. Some people have already kind of figured that out, I guess, and so it should be sometime this week, kind of thing, or over the next week or two.
So if you still haven't got your application in, be sure to put it in because we're reviewing them. So yeah, the guidelines and stuff are on there too, so you can read them before applying if you're comfortable with that shit happening, and etc. etc. Interior developers. If somebody is an interior developer and wants to come and help, apply, because we're definitely looking for developers in all aspects of the server. So, yeah. If someone has the experience, knows what the hell they're doing, let's go. So once you're approved, in game, there'll be a meeting that you'll have to speak with somebody about it, and once that's in place, then you'll be set to be acting as your gang. You're gonna learn to put call signs on Riz, give you a week or two. Alright, we'll see.
Interiors are definitely not easy to pick up on, especially making them optimized for 5M, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's important that you have 5M experience for sure, because of the way that shit works and stability for the server and all that type of malarkey that's important. Can we get luxury interiors? I don't know.
Honestly, we for like interior stuff, like if you like really want something like in a, let's say, timely manner, I don't know if we'll ever get to a point of having an interior team that can crank out stuff like kind of Gab style and stuff, you know. So I did see I'm in a bunch of some of the more like common interior developers discords, and I know some of them are starting to slowly start like taking on commissions. So we can talk about that a little more.
You've been waiting for an interior. The thing is that everybody's in the same boat. If you already don't have an interior, or there's an interior provided for a business that you're trying to have, it's going to take much longer if you're trying to have somebody create an interior for you, and then it's even more of a risk of doing that because then it's actually having it tested and making sure it's suitable for the server. That's why we use a lot of Gabs's stuff and other type interior developers that are paid to use because we know exactly how they work. Are we able to tweak doors at like Paleto Station, for example? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. I'm not too sure how that works actually. I probably should shut my mouth on that because everything's like escrowed and shit. So I don't know how editing stuff like that works and stuff.
I love doors.
Animal pets coming is canine a possibility? I would personally say probably not.
Oh, the double
But
doors?
who knows?
It's something with that fucking map. I don't know what it is. It's stupid, but Roman, let's talk about that in the ticket or in VC if you want later on.
I open up a ticket because then we don't forget Roman.
It's already got one.
Oh, he does. I have no clue. See, that's how much I know. Chief Big Al. Yeah, we may need him back.
Yeah, fuck that.
Gold boxes. Soon TM. I'm telling you now, as soon as glove boxes and all that type of shit's in the server, you guys better max the population of the server, I swear. Anyone got anything else? Oh, you're just gonna dress up as Big Al for Halloween and use his old pet.
Yeah, I'll give you that old ped even with the tattoos on it. Fuck it.
Yeah. But the thing that you got to do is the accent too. So.
Yeah, 100% need to do the accent.
All right, Fuse, I'm gonna fucking mute you.
Tell you what, you bring Dirty Gary back, I'll bring Big Al back.
Yes, not fucking up then. Anybody got anything else before we start to try and wrap this up in a couple of minutes? Make sure you get your questions in. Any concerns that you want to be addressed ASAPs? Because we don't want to be sitting here all day and all day for some people.
Don't be shy. Take the stage too. I mean, come up
Yeah,
and talk.
request to speak. Are you fingering somebody? Anybody? We've got 60 people still in here. Anyone got anything to say? Concerns? Be sure to step up. We have no issue of answering any questions you got. Fat Cop when? I don't know. I'll put it in the pet application and who knows? What up, Marcus?
We kind of went over it earlier, but I think I just might have misheard, like, if it was kind of corrected or fixed regarding the Realtor commission thing. Like, I know I haven't had the ability to sell a second house to confirm if it's still working correctly or as intended. But I don't know if I still ever received, like, the payment for the original sale or not. So I don't know if I should just hold off on that until I can confirm whether or not the issue is fixed and then kind of like update the ticket I have accordingly, or if there's anything else that I should do in the meantime.
We're gonna test the Realtor stuff in a little bit once the meeting's done. And you do you have a ticket open for it? If not, open one up. We'll get you squared away.
Yeah, there's still one still pending open. Yeah, it's
All right. Yeah, well,
18791.
yeah, I'm working on the fixing some of the property commands, so I'm gonna test it once the meeting's over with, and we'll get you squared away.
Okay, sounds good. I just wanted to clarify because I wasn't
Yep.
sure if we actually talked about that earlier or not.
Yep, you're all good.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No problem, mate. Anyone else? Let's fire away. Fire in the hole, baby.
Perfect. I got it. I'll 30 minutes.
We don't put up with a lot of shit, Crumb. Come on. We're just here for you guys. I want to make that clear. I ain't here for my benefits. Using bleeder when I type causes me to move around and stop typing.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. It's hit and miss when it actually takes focus.
Yeah, I think I had an issue one time. I think it was the MDT, but I had a keybind that was mapped, and that's what was fucking it up. So that could be potentially what's happening with the phone. I'm not sure though.
Leighton, yeah, probably now that we can clock in. That was the biggest thing of not locking some of that down, is because nobody could actually clock in. I know you guys tested the towing and the impounding. Are the tow blips showing up? I realized I never tested that part of it.
I'll make your life easier than this slow mode shit, Hikato. So I tested it with Fred and Will multiple times. The blip is still not showing up as of 1:30 in the morning Eastern. We had to, whenever we contacted any tow drivers, we had to have them ping us because pings still are allowed. Just most people don't know that's still a feature.
All right, I'll check it out.
But
I think I know. I think it's the same thing breaking the other blips like for the shops and stuff. So I'll check on it.
Yeah, but everything else works. And thank you for being in my stream working on that too, on quick fixes.
Yeah, of course. Oh, call signs are saving, by the way, in the database now, so that's all fixed up.
As
I
of
checked
restart?
it earlier. Yep.
Sweet.
I see a bunch of people have theirs in there, so that should be all good to go now.
If you would like to help with like social media type aspects, open up a ticket and we can see what we can get to work with. I'm pretty sure Fred would be cool if we had a radio that saved our primary channels. Yeah, just go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're actually gonna add like a radio save and load command, so you can do like radio presets. It would be I wanted to do it automatically, but like when you're not on, you're not clocked in as like an emergency job, it'll obviously reset all your radio anyway. But yeah, we're gonna add some like preset commands so you can like do it once and then save it, and then it'll stick per character.
Yeah, that's a really annoying thing right now. Is the radar settings don't stick like they used to.
Really?
You know,
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
radar
save
for
right now.
cops.
Radar should just be a caching thing on the client side, just like the phone is.
Yeah, I think we brought it over like 1-to-1, so I don't know why. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, I bet I know what it is. It's probably some stupid thing with Wraith, with the Wraith radar that I think I know what it is. I'll check it out.
It just doesn't save the settings that you put on it. That's all. And it's fucking massive. Yeah, it's huge when you first open it. You gotta keep fucking changing it.
Is that a bug already on Trello?
Gritty emote went. Probably.
What's up, Ben?
What up, Ben?
So hold on, give me a second. There we go.
You just recently joined the community, yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you. So one thing I've noticed so far, I'm not sure if this was a thing in the Trello that you guys may be working on. It's about vending machines. How most of them, like, they don't work properly. I guess.
Yeah, it's on the Trello. I've got it
Okay,
mostly
cool.
done. I just need to finish it, but it was
Alright,
a
and
sort of low
also-
priority thing.
Okay, and also with 24/7s, I've noticed you can obviously, like, you go to shop, whatever, but nothing actually pops up. Like, there's actually, like, no items in the shop that you can purchase, which is weird.
That just means the shop hasn't been stocked up.
I'm gonna fix
okay.
it right now.
All right, cool. Because this is an idea too, is that with every restart, maybe make it so shops and stuff, they get supplies. Like,
the plan eventually is to have it as a player-based job when people go around and stock the shops up, so the system's there. So right now we're just manually doing it, but eventually
we
we'll
want
have
players
it.
to like deliver supplies. We want players to like deliver gas to the fuel pumps and stuff.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
trucking job and stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's all I've had. Have a good night, y'all.
You too, brother. Bank application on the phone.
On Trello already.
Yeah, it's on Trello.
Yeah.
Where are we at with that getting started guide? I think a lot of people could benefit from that.
I'm pretty sure that it's nearly finished. I think there's like 2 things on there that needs clarifying, and that's the taxi and something else. Can't remember exactly what it is. But other than that, if there's anything else you want added to it, that's probably done.
Millions of people suffer every day, every year.
So wait, are you Dwight?
No,
What's
I'm
Valiant?
Is there a plan to lower cooking times?
Valiant will be Michael.
Michael?
You can yell at him. Valiant!
Go fuck yourself.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate everybody coming. There's 51 listening. Everybody could join the server, and then there's 51 in the server, right?
Yeah, that's
so I'll
what I
go
was gonna
roleplay.
say. I challenge you guys to get on the
Let's
server.
all go fishing. Let's go fishing together. Earn some money.
You might win something, but that's probably going to be nothing. But you're going to win the love of the community. So if you join, everyone's going to love you.
I'll see you all at the fishing hole. No matter.
Skinner will do what Skinner wants. All right, cool kid. Get fucked.
Always.
Come on, Skinner will be Skinner, dude.
No answer? What do you mean?
No, exactly.
Garages for businesses?
Oh shit, like he wants garage for business.
I don't have an answer for you now. I'll be talking about that though. I'll get you an answer in a little bit, Leighton.
I can just give my viewpoint on it. I know at one point, businesses like, especially at like the mechanic shops, a certain previous developer would just start throwing anything and everything at every single business. They got ATMs and garages, and I was surprised they didn't get their own like just general convenience store shops and everything, all right there for every you wouldn't have to drive anywhere or do anything else. You could just sit at your business or your mechanic shop all day and have everything there. I don't think that's ever really been conducive to like role play. I don't know. Like you just stand there, you just log in and wake up and like you're just there for the entire time that you're in the server with everything at your fingertips. And the other part of that was if there's like garages literally everywhere for everything, then nobody's cars are just sitting out and like there's no potential like petty crime that can happen. your car can never be stolen or broken into or anything. I mean, if it's just for the tow trucks, I don't know, maybe, but definitely not a public garage or anything. But the thing is the mechanics were putting their personal vehicles in those garages. It wasn't just for tow trucks. Or it wasn't being used for that anyway. Yeah, but that's it. Thanks for coming, everybody. See you in the server. I see you're all flying in right now. I see the population going up. There's so many of you joining the server right now. Holy crap. Have a good evening, night, morning. Keep an eye on the Trello. The change log. As we push out more broken shit.